This pond is no longer a virgin. So we are here in St. Louis. I am very excited because we are going to see some killer water features. This is Chris Siewing, a former Aquascape Artist of the Year. He has been working with Aquascape for, boy, I don't know, probably 15 years, and he does incredible work. And I'm super stoked because we're going to his house and he's got a brand new recreation pond that I can't wait to see. So this is going to be a fun couple days. Unmarked vehicle?
Of course.
Here we are in St. Louis, and there's the arch right out the window. Too many ponds to see to stop at the arch. This is just incredible. Chris Siewing, I'm going to start off with a compliment. I hope it doesn't go to your head. This is the nicest personal water feature of any certified conductor I've ever seen.
Thank you. That means a lot from the pond guy himself.
So, you know it's going to be incredible when, you know you're dealing with a pond guy when the water feature is more valuable than the house.
That's the lifestyle.
You've been in the house for 3 years?
3 years.
And how long have you been envisioning this pond?
10 years.
The last 10 years, he's been picturing this water feature. Okay, so tell me the process.
Process started last December. Weather was good in this part of the country.
We're in St. Louis. He started building this pond in December because it was the end of his season.
We figured we could crank it out and get it done before the spring starts. Mother Nature didn't let that happen, so we had a couple hiccups, but we pushed through it and got her done and made it happen.
Just got in. It's a brand new water feature, but absolutely mind-blowing, spectacular. We got here last night. Unbelievable. I went swimming in this pond at nighttime. I did not want to get out. It was literally like with the frogs and the toads chirping. This is what you're listening to out there. This would be the female, and this would be the male. There's a song that says, "Big butt, I like big butts, they just don't lie." The underwater lights, everything going crazy out there. It was absolutely like I was swimming in nature, which is exactly what it should be like. It's how our ancestors grew up. Chlorine's only been around for the last 100 years. This is the kind of stuff that I'd much rather swim in. Take me through the process of building this.
We started with a big underdrain underneath the entire pond to relieve any kind of hydraulic pressure because we knew during the process it was going to get some water in there.
Yep.
And we've learned from experience.
So that's what, 9 feet down?
Yeah, 9 feet down in the ground. And it runs the entire length of the property. So we started that while we were waiting for approval. We had a little bit of a hiccup getting approval from the neighborhood to do something like this.
Imagine that. They're like, you're doing what? We're building a lake in our backyard.
We finally got the approval, laid it out, painted it out. Honestly, I had it painted on the ground for about 2-3 months before we had actually started digging.
Did you erase a couple of lines and put a couple new lines?
No, I put some time into the design on my paper drawing and really kind of worked through that. And then we started digging. You know, it was a big hole, a lot of dirt coming out of this thing. We thought we were going to use a little bit more on site than we did, but we ended up hauling about 40 tandems of soil out of here, which we didn't really anticipate budget-wise, so that threw a loop for us. And then it was trying to get the liner in this thing. Lots of liner. That was a challenging piece. Actually, getting that in was probably the second hardest thing that we did here. We tried to get an army of people here to help. Honestly, what you see, 90% of this was done with me and my foreman.
Wow. Because your guys were off for the winter.
My guys were gone for the season.
So your full-time guy was with you and you.
Foreman and me.
How many days have you been working since January 1st?
Pretty much all.
7 days a week. That's the definition of a labor of love. In addition to your regular building for other people, on your spare time, you were finishing up your pond.
We're trying to get all of our clients satisfied with the clean out startups, doing a couple projects here and there, also trying to wrap this thing up that got pushed behind from, the weather.
What would this water feature cost to replicate in somebody's yard?
There are 350 tons of boulders here.
350 tons of boulders brought in, and each one placed.
Individually strapped, set. Just the water feature, not all the extra concrete boardwalks and things along those lines. We're probably looking at about a $500,000 feature.
Like I said, more expensive than the house. That's a labor of love right there. Talk to me about the name.
We figured that the best way, not that people are not going to remember this feature, but there's other ponds on tour that everybody talks about the name of these things. And, actually my foreman kind of came up with this idea, and I'm like, that's a good idea. I really wanted to have a statement in a major entranceway, and I figured the best way to do that is give this thing a name. People can get that buzz going. My neighborhood is called Fox Meadows, so Fox comes from that. Mountain is from the big, large jumping rocks and 13.5-foot tall mountain that we recreated. And then the falls, obviously, is for the waterfalls.
There you go, and that's the name. Tell me a little bit about your foreman.
Augustine, my foreman, is a 14-year veteran with me. He is truly one of the probably most talented people I know in this industry.
I got to tell you, this is it's a big yard, but it's a typical neighborhood.
It is, yeah. It's typical suburbia. You would not expect this in somebody's backyard. People were just blown away. They didn't really get. A lot of the neighbors showed up too, and they saw the chaos that was going on, and they were all curious about what was going on, and they wanted to know, where did we put all those boulders?
Just to give you a perspective, 350 tons of boulders. The rocks that are being delivered here are in 30-ton increments. So all of the neighbors were watching this going on, having no perspective of what was going on back here. So they got to come here for the very first time and be part of the tour that you had on Sunday.
Yes. And most of them were very receptive and just blown away, and they wanted to come back at night.
Yes. Come on over and give them a beer.
Absolutely. I plan on trying to do a little barbecue for them.
I've never, ever seen a certified oxygen conduit with a nicer backyard than this. People don't understand that what a recreation pond is.
So, recreation pond is just that. It's a pond that you're using for multiple reasons. What we are using it for is to swim and enjoy nature. It's going to have natural filtration. It's going to have fish, plants, but it's going to have a deeper area that you can actually get into and swim and utilize this for recreational purposes. Just like you're going to go to the lake, get away for a vacation, and actually use this thing to enjoy nature and spend time with your family, which is all the reason that we did this. Go jump. a truly unique design that we specifically put together for us and also to share with our clients, and we really wanted them to have an experience and to be thrown into the lifestyle of water gardening. I wanted it to feel more like a botanical garden experience where you're slowing down, taking time to stop, just really absorb what's going on and think about nature while you're in our space.
This is just incredible. This is my dream job, going out and being inspired by seeing what our customers have done. You know, I got to tell you, this is like a proud papa moment. I know this was a complete labor of love for Chris, and it shows. Every single thing in this water feature is just spectacular. For me as the CEO of the company, to see what my customers have been able to do with our products and how they're actually innovating and living the aquascape lifestyle for themselves, I couldn't think of a better job for me as the CEO than to go out and visit my customers and my customers' customers and get inspired to keep doing what we're doing. Everybody needs to be living the aquascape lifestyle. Everybody needs some peace and tranquility in their life. Everybody needs to be able to recreate nature where they live instead of only having to go to a park. And to have a product line and to have a customer base that gets it, that's just the greatest satisfaction that I could ever experience. I hope you like what you see, and if you do, share it. More people need to know that they don't have to build a traditional swimming pool. They don't have to be confined to grass, which is the most agriculturally inefficient crop in America, and it's the largest. They can create wildlife. They can create habitats for wildlife. Water is the key to that. And to be able to see what somebody's doing here in a traditional backyard, just an absolutely, you know, Ferrari of a water feature, it just makes me proud. I love my job. If you like what you see, share this, comment on it, like it, and follow along as not only Greg Wittstock, the pond guy, but also Team Aquascape, so we can teach people how to actually build these. Ponds done right, customers served right. That's our mantra. This never gets old for me. I love it. Like, comment, and subscribe.